This is the Sports Hit List. By the fans, for the fans.
Kevin Durant joins the 30,000 point club. Congratulations to him. Kudos. That's a tremendous accomplishment. And now we circle back to that conversation. I think we've had it about scoring in the NBA as far as is Kevin Durant the greatest scorer in NBA history? That's up for conversation. That's up for debate. Do we believe that? True or false?
I seen a man named Kobe Bryant play basketball, so I don't know. Is he?
Well, again, so let me. I guess
I was gonna ask the question. What does greatest scorer mean? Are we talking?
Thank you. That's what I was gonna ask next. That's what I'm talking about next.
Different ways of scoring, because I'm not gonna lie to you. KD can score in every fashion of the game. When it comes, he could hit you with the three. He could hit you with the post, left shoulder, right shoulder. He got a little dribble pull up. But I seen Kobe Bryant play, man. I don't know if I'm quite ready to go ahead and say that KD is the greatest scorer. I'm come back to me on that, man.
But Zig, I think you said it best as far as what do we qualify as scoring, right? Because you can look at the top 10 list of scorers, right? LeBron, Kareem, Malone, Kobe, Jordan, Dirk, Wilt, KD, Shaq, and Melo, right? So what makes one score better than the other? Because they scored more points, because of their efficiency, because of the way their ability to score. That's where I think the conversation kind of comes into play.
If you're gonna throw efficiency in there, then it's gonna have to be Kevin Durant. I don't know if Kobe was as efficient as KD, but I'm still going with Kobe. I'm sorry, I'm not deviating from that. I'm going with Kobe.
Mike, what are your thoughts here with this conversation? I guess it's subjective as far as what you make to be the greatest scorer, because again, I've heard the argument that Kevin Durant is the greatest scorer of all time. But then
Zig understands it, right? Nobody go by who get the most points. Like Carmelo was Carmelo's still top 5 all time in scoring, and y'all still won't accept that he's better than Tim Duncan. But that's another subject for another day.
There you go.
I'm just saying. Like we care about it when we want to, but I'm not going to derail us. My fault, my brothers. But like Zig, we know the people we saw. We saw Kobe Bryant, but he's the greatest scorer. Kevin Durant's the greatest scorer I've ever seen. Because when you mention efficiency, that's to me what tips the scale between him and Kobe. Mm-hmm. Kobe can do all of the moves Kevin Durant can do, but Kevin Durant can do that more efficiently, and he's like almost a foot taller than him. So that, yes, to me, he's the greatest scorer I've ever seen. In terms of he can do everything on the basketball court offensively at an easy level. It's not hard. It's not multiple dribbles. It's simple. He gets to his spot, he scores, and he dominates doing it. It's been in the back of my mind for years that that's probably the greatest scorer ever. Just singular scorer. Yeah.
But Mike, I'm happy you said the greatest score you've ever seen, because the Mike I know, the brother that I've known for years, would have said Wilt, right? I thought
he's the most dominant.
Wilt's the most dominant. I thought you would have said the most dominant. Okay, Andres, you co-signing that KD's the greatest scorer of all time?
No, number one. Number two, Mike said that KD's almost a foot taller than Kobe. I think you might want to correct that. He's like 5 inches taller, bro, not a whole foot.
He's 7 foot.
Mike, you said that. We can run back the tape.
You good at words, right? Do you know what hyperbole means?
Yes.
All right, keep going.
Listen, if Carl could be fun at parties, I could be fun at parties too.
Okay.
So who's the greatest scorer if it's not KD? It's not KD, and why not KD?
It's not Kevin Durant because
if you say James Harden, I'm out.
I mean,
I knew it. I'm out.
All right. Good night, Mike. Anyways, as I was saying,
you said you taking James Harden?
I know. I'm out.
Can I speak? Damn, son. When it comes to Kevin Durant, when it comes to the subject of greatest scorers of all time, right? If we're talking about who can go get you a bucket, like at the Ruckus Park, maybe you could argue KD, maybe you could argue Michael, but if we're talking about NBA regular season, NBA playoffs, right? I don't think Kevin Durant is in that conversation of greatest scorers of all time. I think
because
look at the sample size. You talk about efficiency, right? When it comes to the playoffs, number 30 in Golden State, playoff-wise, more efficient than Kevin Durant. When you talk about efficiency in the playoffs, number 23 in LA, also more efficient than Kevin Durant in the playoffs. Number 23 in Chicago, also more efficient than Kevin Durant in the playoffs. I think it's a subjective term because it's like, are we factoring the playoffs? Are we factoring the ability to get a bucket? Are we factoring the regular season? Because like in the regular season, Kevin Durant, maybe it's him, maybe it's Michael, maybe it's LeBron, maybe it's Wardell. But when it comes to the playoffs, he cannot be in that conversation.
So for you, it's about the playoffs.
It's not all about the playoffs. I'm just saying that, like, when people say Kevin Durant is the greatest scorer of all time because he's efficient, because he can shoot from 2-3 on the free throw line, Steph Curry could do the same thing. Just because Stephen A. goes on ESPN and says, well, Steph Curry's the best three-point shooter of all time. No. He's one of the best scorers of all time, not just three-pointers. And I'm sick and tired of
hearing Steph has never even been in the conversation either. We've never put Steph in the conversation.
Yeah,
Andres,
which is stupid. Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Is Steph Curry good at posting up players?
That's not his forte. No,
it's a trick question. He doesn't post up players.
Right.
It's a trick question. He doesn't do that. So This is what me and Zig were talking about. Kevin Durant scores in every single way possible. Steph Curry doesn't.
To say he's not in the conversation because
playoff-wise. Overall, he is.
But you said it's not only playoffs. You said
no. I know. I'm just saying. If we're talking about playoffs specifically,
but we're not.
We saw what he did. We don't have.
But you heard what Carl just said. But we're not. He didn't say
not just
who's the greatest scorer in the playoffs.
I'm just saying overall.
All right, okay, I'm still taking Mike.
Ain't nobody mad at you taking Michael Jordan. I thought you was going to say James Harden.
No, but I think the problematic though is when you say Kevin Durant isn't in the conversation.
No, he's in the conversation.
That's what you see. Zig sat back. He was like,
for the playoffs, he's not.
Okay, but in the overall conversation,
it's
all right. That's all.
It's
even in
Mike.
the playoff, no, Carl, we're not gonna let that slide. No, even in the playoffs, it's weird.
Come on, bro. No.
I know where he's going. He's going back to 2016. That's where he's going back.
He averaged 35 against LeBron in the finals. What
team was he playing for, Mike?
I don't care if he was playing for the Monstars. He averaged 35 against LeBron James.
You know what? I like answering questions. What was Kevin Durant's best efficiency numbers in the playoffs? What year?
I don't know that.
2017.
Yeah,
66%.
What was his efficiency?
66%. 66%. When he was playing
with? How much
did
he average?
When he was playing with?
I didn't ask you that.
When he was playing with?
How much did he average is what I asked you.
When he was playing, I can answer your question after you answer mine. Who was he playing with in 2017?
Oh, you like Mike, talking, Mike, like listening.
Mike, just answer his question for context because I got to
know. So now we move on. No.
So, let me just say this. So I guess now, Andres, it matters who you're playing with because that wasn't the part of the question.
I'm just saying
how they switch it up.
Yeah.
If you look at Kevin Durant, his efficiency from 2009 to 2016, it's a real different ballgame from 2017, 2018, and 2019.
I know a finals where he averaged 30 on 56%.
Who was he playing with, Mike?
Okay, but let me.
So now it's who he's playing with again. So he only can get numbers when he's on a bad team.
Mike, you want to talk about? You went on a rant. Hold on, Carl. You went on a rant about Nico Harrison. How come the coach for the Cleveland Cavaliers came out and said our game plan was to stop number 30?
Oh, I'll do you one better. Game 1, 2018 finals. Remember, Ty Lue doesn't coach. Ty Lue doesn't play. Let me quote a player. Game 1, 2017 finals. They asked LeBron James on the stand, hey, what's the difference between this year and last year? What did he say, Andres?
Kevin Durant. You see how I'm going to answer your question?
He said KD.
You see how I'm going to answer your question?
You said it calm.
Can you answer my question now? Can you answer my question now?
He said.
Can you answer my question now?
Sure.
Okay. So why did Ty Lue, the coach for the Cavs, come out and say we were not worried about 35, we were worried about 30? Please.
Oh,
Humor me.
I want to be fair and give the people context. You mean why did Ty Lue 5 years after they played that series say, "Oh, we was just worried about 30"? What did he say during the series? Matter of fact, let's go back to my question. What did the best player on that team say about that? He was worried about.
I got you. He said, "At the end of the day, it's just basketball."
He said that too. He did say that. He did say that.
Go ahead, Carl. You're good.
No, I forgot my. Now I'm trying to remember my point. Just listening to y'all.
No, you got me tight, son.
No, but it's a matter of. Again, I guess you're saying because
you got us tight. My man Zig had to sit back and look at you crazy.
Yeah. Again, Zig,
along in the
I
conversation.
guess he's saying that because you played along Steph Curry, his efficiency got better. Is that the argument?
I mean, yeah, that's definitely what I think Andres is trying to allude to. Because if you compare those numbers to what he was doing in OKC when he had Russell Westbrook and KD was complaining that he was the only person that can shoot, nobody else on his team could shoot. That's exactly what Andres was saying. But in the grand scheme of things, when God willing, we're 80 and 90 years old and these young bucks are running around, they're not going to be looking at that. They're going to be looking at highlights. They're going to be looking at YouTube or whatever else is going to be out there. And they're going to be like, yo, this guy was one of those ones. And the history books, as much as Andres just talked about how Jordan and Kobe is more efficient than KD in the playoffs, I don't necessarily think that's true. I definitely don't think, if we could check the numbers out, but I think KD has a higher field goal percentage than Kobe Bryant when it comes to the playoffs. And I believe KD has a higher three-point percentage and free throw percentage than Michael Jordan. All of that leads to you being one of the greatest of all times when it comes in terms of scoring, or at least in that field.
I think Kobe was efficient relative to his era, right? Obviously, like, not to sound like an old head, right? But obviously the spacing today can be compared to 20 years ago, yada, yada, yada. So when people, not you guys, obviously, but when people say that he was inefficient, that's also incorrect because he was 4%. Kobe was 4% or 5% above the league average efficiency for his time. And there's people nowadays that are below it and they still get a max contract. Not to pocket watch, but let's just call it spade a spade. There's people that are below that league average. If the league average is 48% and I'm shooting 53%, I'm pretty good because, again, I'm above league average. So when people look at Kobe's numbers, they don't look at the league average and compare it to his numbers. They're just like, oh, 51% he was inefficient. You know what I mean? So I just think that people need to use more context when it comes to like comparing like eras. The same thing with Michael, right? People are like, oh, Michael didn't shoot threes. Back in the 90s, nobody was popping threes. Shit, I don't remember it because I wasn't born yet, but the shrug when he had like 7 3-pointers in game 1 against the Trailblazers, he was like, holy shit, like I can do that from 3, So I think if we're gonna make a top 5, Carl, I'm gonna hijack your segment. If we're gonna make a top five scorers, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, LeBron James, Kobe, and Shaq. That's gonna be my 5.
Shaq?
Damn.
I don't want to put James Harden because Mike will walk away. So
no, I would put James Harden over LeBron. If we just talking about, we're not talking about who can get the most points.
Versatility.
So then let me put. So
we're talking about the ability to score in multiple ways.
Does Melo not
name?
That's why I'm taking Shaq out and putting Melo in.
Thank you. That name go in.
Melo goes in that conversation.
Absolutely.
Not for me.
Melo's
not
in
for
there.
me.
Yeah, Melo's definitely
Melo's
in
in
there.
there. Absolutely.
Yeah, Melo's in there, man.
Okay, so who are you taking out?
Shaq. Like Zig said, we taking Shaq out.
Okay, I'm switching Shaq with Harden. Who are you taking out?
He said LeBron.
I'm taking LeBron out.
Melo over LeBron as a scorer.
I'm not arguing that. I'm putting Melo in.
I'm putting Melo in.
Put Melo in, bro.
Listen,
he scored more. Okay, LeBron has more points than Melo, but we're talking about pure scoring, the ability to do everything on the court. LeBron was never the scorer like Melo. Stop that.
Yeah.
In terms of ability, we're not talking about who could score more.
Melo came into the league a complete package.
Talk about
LeBron still had to work to get the 3-point ball up. LeBron still had to work to.
Yeah.
LeBron didn't even get a post game until when he went to Miami.
And it still is not elite like Melo.
Melo came from Syracuse with a post game.
Yeah,
Melo came with the 3-point in his bag.
Melo had that 18-footer
with
easily.
the bully ball.
Yeah,
I'm putting Melo in.
Thanks for watching the Sports Hit List. Be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. In fact, do it now.